All right, here with Lucas Giolito, White Sox starting pitcher. Lucas, what have the first few days of camp been like?
It's been a lot of fun. A lot of new faces. Yeah. Got a lot of new names to learn, which is a tough one for me because I suck with names. I'm that guy that's like, I shake your hand and you tell me your name, I forget it like 10 seconds later. So I can get some good practice in there. But no, we've been having a lot of fun. A lot of good focused work is what I love to see. I've been amazed with how good a shape so many guys have shown up here. Watching bullpens, watching live BPs, pitchers are nasty right now, so I love to see it.
When you look at this rotation, it seems like it's got the arms that can kind of power you guys through the season. How do you kind of evaluate this starting group right now?
Yeah, I think the starting group's in a very good spot. Obviously, I'm in a position where I got a lot to prove coming off a down year last year, but Dylan Cease, I think, can take that next step and actually win the Cy Young this year. Had close second last year to Verlander. Lance Lynn, he's going to do his thing. Michael coming, a nice fully healthy Michael Kopech that's not dealing with the knee issue now that's all rehab ready. I think that we're in a very, very good spot. Yeah.
What is the vibe like now? I know it's only the first few days of spring training, but compared to last year with Pedro being here,
I think it's been great. I think Pedro's kind of come in and. What I really love that he's done is kind of had a lot of individual talks with a bunch of us, just kind of asking, getting a feel for, where we're at as a clubhouse, our family unit, like where do we need to grow? Where do we need to, make improvements so that we can come together and have that clear vision for what we're trying to do as a ball club. Those conversations have been great. And I've been loving his attitude, kind of what he's brought to the table so far, while at the same time, observing, learning about all of us as individuals so that we can all come together.
You talked about last year. How has this group kind of taken the offseason and kind of built off of the disappointment of last year to get to where you guys are now, ready to attack 2023?
Well, yeah, I'd say based off of what I've seen so far, a lot of guys are coming in ready to prove something, that we're not just this talented team that's like squandering away, that we're a talented team that can put it together and go out and do our thing. That being said, we got to go and do it. Talk is kind of cheap at this point. I mean, after what happened last year, which was such a disappointment, I think it's just important that we stay focused, working every day on what we're trying to improve, and then going out and winning games. That's really it.
You mentioned your own disappointment from last season. How did you spend the offseason, and what kind of motivating factor was that on really a daily basis as you went to work?
Yeah, I was working very hard. I felt that I needed to make some changes, and I made those changes. Body-wise, athletic-wise, pitching-wise. We don't need to get into like crazy details with mechanics and all that stuff. It gets kind of boring. But really just like putting in focus work each day, learning a lot more about my body, what I need to do to be able to also rest and recover. I think that's a huge thing for me. Making sure it's okay if I'm going to be grinding, make sure that I'm getting that recovery as well. So, it was an off season full of like education, full of hard work and just trying to be as prepared as humanly possible to go out and have a good season, help this ball club win.
And how confident are you that you're going to be able to do that this year?
Very confident. Yeah. I'm feeling strong. I'm feeling, I'd say, athletic. I've been happy with my PFPs so far, so continue on that trend. That's really all I can do.
How are the animals? How are the pets?
Good.
Doing well?
Yeah.
They had a good off season too?
Yeah. Cat's got into a bit of a fight a couple weeks ago. That was pretty entertaining. They usually get along, but every once in a while, one of them gets pissed off.
What was the dispute over, if you remember?
One cat was up on the top part of the tower. The other one wanted to be at that top part, and he didn't have it. So they started boxing a little bit.
There you go. That gives you some experiences like a clubhouse peacemaker if you need to.
Exactly.
Use it, right?
Exactly.
One last thing for you as you look ahead to this upcoming season. You've obviously talked about that prove it mindset that everybody here seems to be talking about having. What are the expectations? What do you think this team can do in 2023?
any guy's going to stand up here and say, oh, our team can win the World Series, right? But I don't really want to say that, especially considering what Pedro told us on day one. It's like, why sit here and like set all these goals and lofty expectations on day one when we're literally in February and we have a whole spring training to get through and then we have a whole season to get through? It's like, why don't we set the goal for today or set the goal for the next 5 days? What are we going to do over the next 5 days to get better? So I'd rather keep things more in the present. I'd like for the next 5 days of camp, I'd like to see everybody continue to put in really good focused work. I'd like to see everybody continue to stay healthy, figure out, little ways, working with Goldie, working with James, working with Brett, working with the coaching staff, little things to just get those little 1% improvements and continue to stack those little wins each day individually and as a team, come together, find our clear vision, and move from there.
Is that short-term thinking, is that helpful, and does it go hand in hand with kind of that confidence that you guys have obviously had for a long time now?
Yeah, that's always worked well for me in the past. I was really excited when Pedro brought that up because, you'll see, I've been around long enough that I've seen, meetings day one of spring training where it's like, we're going to win the World Series. It's like, okay, well, how are we going to do that, And now it's like, oh, we're going to do that by these 5 days, these 5 days, these 5 days, these 5 days. I think that's a much better way to approach it.
Cool. All right. Lucas Giolito, White Sox starting pitcher, thank you so much.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Appreciate the
Thanks,
time.
Vinnie.